Hey Eurovision fans, it's Tom coming to you from Dublin. I'm back for another Eurovision reaction video. Loreen has just won Melodifestivalen and will represent Sweden in Eurovision 2023. I'm going to give you my reaction to the final and my analysis of how this could do in Liverpool. So let's kiki. As always, I will leave timestamps in the progress bar if you want to skip to a particular part. If you can't understand me, you can slow down the video and turn on subtitles here. So today I'm going to be giving my thoughts about her final performance, what I think works, what I think doesn't work, also the controversial things that are happening now in terms of her staging for Liverpool, and then also how I think this could do. I'm not going to do a reaction to her actual live performance because I've already done that. I'll leave a link in the eye if you want to see that. I don't really have that much more to add. I'll summarize what I think about it here, but I don't really need to go through her live video again. And also, I don't want to incur the wrath of SVT, who can be quite vicious when they want to be. So in the end, Loreen won both the jury and the televote. Not much of a surprise in the end, I think. Everyone was kind of expecting at this point that she was going to win. She's currently sitting at top of the odds. It hasn't really changed since, but she's got quite a big lead over Ukraine and Finland right now. We still have 5 songs left to pick, but yeah, she is at this point in time the heavy favorite to win Eurovision 2023. Let's first talk about her performance in the final. So if you were watching Melodifestivalen, you would have seen that there appeared to be some sort of mistake with the smoke machine. There was too much smoke. It actually looked like a sandstorm, which kind of added to the dune feel of the staging, which I particularly liked. I know it was probably an error, giving us that Nina Sublati. She got Sublati'd from Georgia in 2000 and something. That was smoke machine. This looked like a sand machine. Yeah, generally the performance wasn't as good as it was in the heats, but I wouldn't really worry about that too much. I think she might have been a bit distracted by just how much more smoke there was. Okay, so people are talking about this as a potential winner for Eurovision 2023. So I'm going to go through and talk about her and the staging and the song and what I think are its strengths and its weaknesses and whether I think it can win or not. So first of all, let's talk about Loreen herself. I think she is absolutely a superstar. She is a Eurovision winning level performer. Obviously she's won it before, but she's just got that superstar quality. First of all, she's obviously got an amazing voice. She's extremely professional and mature and experienced in how she performs as well. I love how when she's performing, every single part of her body is working. If you look at her fingers and her toes, especially in that opening tableau where she's lying on the ground, every single part of her body is part of the performance. The way she moves her head, the slowly sliding her feet, even her toes, the way they're curled, it's just like from head to toe performance. She's got this incredible awareness of how to utilize her body to her advantage, which is really amazing. And that just comes from her natural talent, but also this experience that she's gained from being a performer for so long. So that maturity really plays in her favor. I think another positive aspect that people maybe don't talk about is also her age. She's 39 now and she looks absolutely spectacular. She's like really fit. She looks really healthy. She looks absolutely gorgeous. And I think generally people who are in their late 30s or 40s are a little bit more underrepresented in Eurovision. So I wouldn't underestimate how much of a positive that will be for demographic to see someone in their age group totally killing it on stage and representing their demographics. In terms of a performer, I agree. I think this is a Eurovision winning performer. Let's go to the second part, which is the staging. And this is something I spoke about in my previous video as well. I think this staging is absolutely and utterly divine. This is Eurovision winning visuals. Really reminds me of the movie Dune. This beautiful artistic representation of smoke, sand and desert definitely influences from her Berber roots in Morocco. We can see that in the outfit that she's wearing, the nails, her hair and the tattoos that are on her feet. Just these really beautiful details. There's details on every aspect of this performance which really give it that next level in terms of thought and preparation. The staging is just divine. This gigantic LED screen that's hanging on top of her, I think it weighs over a ton. Health and safety hazard. Sandy, smoky, mystical environment that they create where she's sandwiched between these ethereal looking, kind of almost spacey as well, murals. And the cinematography is excellent. There's so many beautiful, I'll put a couple of photos up, but there's so many beautiful angles here. Really striking tableaus that stand out. It just lends itself to these really stunning images that stand out in people's memories. Most performances are lucky to have like maybe one big image. I remember Azerbaijan from last year had that image where he leaned back and you had these bright lights flashing. He had one of those. Loreen has like 5 or 6 different wow moments. That first moment where she's vertical and then the camera's turning, that, and then she's got the one where her legs are open and her hands are above, and we've got the rune above her on the roof. There's just lots and lots of amazing moments in this that are really, really attention grabbing. That's really important because everybody's going to sit through this performance regardless of whether they like the song or not. This is going to be a real moment that people don't want to miss because they want the visual spectacle. I think in terms of staging, this is the most beautiful and ambitious thing that we've had since You Are the Only One in 2016. Yeah, this is just next level. This is like super high quality, gorgeous, well produced, well organized artistry, drama, transporting you into another science fiction world. I absolutely love it. I think different people take different references. Like I said, Dune is one of my favorite movies, so I see all those connections with it, but different people see different things. It's the beauty of this abstract art that people can interpret it in whatever way that they see. So staging, definitely Eurovision winning. Now this brings me to the third part, and that is the song, and this is going to cause a bit of controversy. For me, this is not a Eurovision winning song. It's good, definitely. I think the streaming numbers show that a lot of people think it's more than good. Now, I know I'm going to get people saying, oh, you're just a Sweden hater, because I get that every single year. Every time I do a Sweden video, I'm not a Sweden hater. They're number 2 in my all-time Eurovision rankings. I have my rankings that I do every year. I've got them since 2007. And Sweden were in my top 10 in 2007, 2008, 2011, 2012, 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2021. So that's 9 times since 2007. I definitely like the Swedish songs. In terms of performer and staging, I'm like first place, but the song for me is kind of just about in my top 15 currently. There's elements of it I really like. I like the bits that it slows down, and I'm not sure if it's like a horn. It sounds like a Berber horn to me, very much like musical instruments that were used in the movie Dune. I like those slower bits. They also remind me a little bit of Frozen by Madonna. The core part of the song, though, I do find sounds a little bit kind of dated Melodifestivalen. You know, this is written by Thomas. It's written by quite a committee of people, but it just sounds like kind of the same old thing, but then with these lovely Berber instrumentals put on at certain parts of the song. So those instrumentals are the standout bit for me. The rest is kind of a bit, it's fine. And the tattoo hook, it does get in your head. It doesn't necessarily get in my head in a way that I enjoy. Like, for example, certain songs this year, they've gotten in my head. I'm like, oh my God, I have to listen to this. I love it so much. And I'll download it and I'll listen to it on repeat. This, I'm like, it's in my head, but it's not necessarily like, oh, this is, I want to listen to it. It's more just when stuff gets stuck in your head. But some people like absolutely are obsessed with the song and really love it and stream the absolute crap out of it. I'm going to be really curious to see now in the coming months, how much does that phenomenon extend into the general public? I know the streaming numbers are high, but I want to know, are those streaming numbers from a small group who intensely and passionately love this and are streaming it nonstop, or does it have a broader appeal? That's something I'm really curious to see. For me, this is very obviously not as strong as Euphoria, which was her song that won in 2012. My favorite song of hers would be Statements from 2017, which didn't even get into the final. This, for me, as a song, does not even compare to that. It really is not on the same level. Statements for me had a real depth to it, a real visceral, incredible story and meaning behind it. This does have a meaning, but it just seems a little bit more superficial to me as a song. Again, my opinion, do not come for me, do not it's just one person's opinion, calm down. But yeah, there's a superficiality here that feels like it, you can see the construction in it from this committee, and I feel that a lot more. For me, Statements, that committee feel was hidden a little bit better. It felt a lot more authentic. So yeah, that's the one aspect of the hype that I kind of struggle with. The performer and the staging makes sense as a winner. The song doesn't make sense to me as a winner really yet. So that's just the one part I need a little bit more convincing. When I see people online saying how this song is like changing their life and they love it, you know, I would like that. That's something I want to be part of. Now, in regards to the staging concept, there are some issues with it. There are reports that they might not be able to hang it from the roof in Liverpool because it's too heavy. So there may have to be some adjustments there. Obviously, that's something they're going to get working on immediately, but that could be quite important. At this point in time, the visuals elevates the song for me massively. Like, I would, even though for me it's only a top 15 song, I would put this in my top 10 because I enjoy the performance and what's happening visually so much. I don't think they're going to lose all of it, but yeah, they may have to make some adaptations, and that could dent into the amount of points they get a tiny bit. We'll have to wait and see. I'm sure Sweden's production team are very experienced. They know what they're doing. They're going to be problem solving this, and they have around 2 months to work with the team in Liverpool to kind of come up with a solution. But yeah, it is possible that this staging that we've seen in Melodifestivalen may need to be changed, and that could be a significant help for what seems to be her main competitor now, which is Käärijä from Finland. Like I said, we're still waiting on 5 more songs, but Käärijä does seem to be her biggest rival. So how do I think this will do in Eurovision? First of all, obviously this is going to qualify. That's a bit of a no-brainer. It's in the first semi-final, but it's in the second half. It's definitely qualifying. Let's move on to the final. In the final, what do I think this can do? First of all, with the jury, I think this is a definite contender to win the jury. At this point in time, actually, I'd say it's pretty much definitely going to win the jury. We've seen before, Sweden has no problem with the jury whatsoever. They're very good at the jury. They send extremely well-produced songs, extremely well-produced stagings. Everything's very professional and well done. Jury's not an issue. I think that she'll win that. Now, in terms of the televote, it gets a little bit more complicated. First of all, let's keep in mind that Sweden haven't been in the top 5 of the televote since 2015, which was the year that they won. Since then, they've always been out of the top 5. Not even Cornelia was able to break the top 5 in the televote. So that's important because we've seen this consistently now where Sweden is always doing better with the jury than with the televote. Is Loreen going to be able to break that? Well, if there's someone who brings name recognition and authenticity and a visceral, raw realness to a performance, it is Loreen, and that's maybe what people are looking for in Sweden. On the flip side, this is very, very produced and polished, and that might be one of the turnoffs for people because we're so used to these super polished, produced entries. We also need to consider that there are other countries who are going to be big televote magnets. Käärijä from Finland, definitely expecting him to get a big televote. Austria, who the hell is Edgar? If that staging is done well, that's definitely another contender that could win the televote. And then Ukraine as well. We know that last year there was a huge pouring of support for them. I imagine it'll be a little bit smaller this year, but I'm still expecting people to show a lot of support. So that's already 3 countries who I think could potentially be above Loreen in the televote. Now, she might win it, for all I know. People could be so in awe of the visual aspect, they might just go for it. But yeah, the televote is definitely less obvious to me. I think the jury is pretty much almost in the bag. It's about how much of a lead can she build up in the jury. And actually the fact that there's so many of these big televote hitters, those 3 countries, Finland, Austria and Ukraine, if they split the points, then really all she needs to do is come in behind them and then she can still win, even coming 4th in the televote. We actually saw the reverse of that in 2021 when Måneskin won. They came 4th in the jury and 1st in the televote. So if you made me guess at this point in time, I would say she will come 1st in the jury, 4th in the televote, and I think that she would win with that because those 3 other songs I don't think would do as strong with the jury. So even if they come 1st, 2nd, 3rd with the televote, I don't think their jury score would be enough, and I think overall she would have the most. So I can see mathematically how this happens, but my biggest questions are people going to resonate enough with the song? Are they even going to care? Are they just going to look at the visuals and go, wow, I'm voting for the visuals, I think they're brilliant? I personally would really like Sweden to win again. My first Eurovision I went to was in 2016 in Stockholm, and it was amazing. It was really great. Like, it was so well organized. The Friends Arena was huge and it was packed and it was just such an amazing experience. So I would love to go back, assuming it was in Stockholm. Anywhere in Sweden, I think they would host an amazing show. And also personally for me, as an Irish Eurovision fan, I want Sweden to get that 7th win because it'll put some pressure on our broadcaster to stop being so crap, because they're totally useless. And actually, I think that Sweden tying Ireland's record for 7 wins would be the best possible thing for them to actually stop being so useless. So I'm totally on board with her winning as a concept. But yeah, I'm not in love with the song, so it feels a little bit odd for me. Okay, that's what I think about Loreen and her song Tattoo. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thanks so much for watching. I'm seeing another analysis video very soon. Goodbye.